Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. I've been hankering to come back and add some of the graphics I made earlier. I haven't got any idea how I'm going to do the AI yet. I did have him moving about just to test it when we finished off last time, but it wasn't moving how I wanted it to. And in fact, I've stopped him moving so I could take a screenshot for Twitter. So I've stuck him where I wanted him to be and left him there. And I think maybe to ease myself back in this evening, I'll just draw the blackboard, which I've already drawn. So we'll get it showing in the background, make the graphics look a little bit better on the level, more complete. And then we'll try and do some path finding, some very basic AI. At some point soon we'll have to add the teeth. I'm not looking forward to that. I've got a fail-safe idea of how to do that in a rudimental way, but I'd like to have a more accurate way. But yeah, we'll see. Let's get rid of that music. Lovely music, I love that. They've managed to mix one of the best sort of beats with one of the most annoying sounds in the world. It's lovely. Alright, what are we doing here then? For some reason or other it says I haven't saved it. I think I just literally moved up a line or something. So let's just add the blackboard. It's going to be nice and easy to get me back in the rhythm of it, and I'll see how I feel after I've managed that. So of course the blackboard is just a sprite. It doesn't need its own level specific code. Oops, that's not the way to do it. Let's just delete that. Blackboard.asm, make life easier. Don't need to be renaming it later. Let's not get caught out by the usual step I miss. Let's include it. Is that really the only sprite? Oh, they're all down here. Let's keep it in alphabetical order where we can. Okay. Just because I want to. Blackboard. So briefly I will show it. I'll get it up in ZX Paintbrush. It's nothing too exciting, but it looks pretty nifty, you know, for a specky. It's going to make the level look a little bit better. The colours in ZX don't even matter, to be honest, but I have done them correctly. So that's a blackboard. I'm so bad at maths, I'm going to be really careful. 16, 32, 48. But it's width, so it's bytes 6. The thing's going to tell me when I export it anyway, isn't it? As long as I do it right. I don't want any attributes. Oh, in fact, let's get the attributes just so we know, just so we don't have to think and make them ourselves. Obviously, they're all the same. They're actually the reverse. I think I've done it wrong now, haven't I? Like I said, it doesn't matter. We can switch it all around. Colours. Switch my screens around now. It is a little bit awkward still doing that. Oh, I want to do something else quickly as well. What about that? Charge my phone. Alright, I'm with it now. Let's get going. Right. By the way, thank you to... I had a flurry of followers again today. Maybe after I'd posted on social media. And it took me over to 50. So I'm really, really happy about that. I will just focus on putting out good content still. And hopefully having more than 3 viewers on average. And then I'm away. Blackboard is added. Blackboard sprite. Let's keep that comment because I didn't really take on board the size of the blackboard very well. What I did when I drew it, I measured it up exactly with the wall. So that's looking perfect. Sometimes I used to be able to get it to show there, yeah, but very odd that it doesn't want to highlight them bottom ones. And then we just need one of them. I think it might be the wrong way round. Hiya, Moz. Oh yeah. I'm just reading your top message. Sprite drawing.asm. Oh, very well spotted, man. I've put that in my notepad for later. I'm copying your comment because I can't be bothered to deal with that just now, but I certainly will in a minute. Okay, I think that's good. Saved it to notepad. So I want one of them. The rest can go. Did it backwards for some reason. I can't remember if that's white or black, but that's the ink. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Might not even need this because if we look at the level, if we open the game, if it'll let us. Bob is taller. I guess I could make Bob's max like where he is, because that way this blackboard will never, it could be any colour we wanted and it would never, you know, it wouldn't affect any of the sprites. But if it's going to be, you know, if Bob can walk past it, and we had to say pink ink, for example, his head would turn pink. Or if we had white ink, his head would go white. I mean, I think it would change back when we move back to a cell that has black ink, but it would be great to make it so that Bob can't walk that far, really, I think. Yeah, good mention, man. I'll have a proper look at that. It sounds, from what I've read, like it was a tough thing to find. So, some great sleuth work there by the sounds of it. I stupidly, oh yeah, this backboard is going to be on Y0. I can't remember the X, but we can easily fiddle up with that, can't we? Is there any reason to have it as a variable? I don't see any reason to do that. Let's get rid of that underscore blackboard, one word. Let's just say it was 8, I can't remember what it was. Of course, it's only on level 1 this one's going to be drawn. Obviously, just do it in here. It's really that straightforward, isn't it? Just draw it quite early. Pretty much the first thing we draw. Well, I say pretty much. It is the first thing we draw right now. So the sprite is 48 by 32. That's 6 by 32. Don't think I've got one like that. No. So we'll have to make our own. Or make one, I should say. They're all our own. But let's just make a draw sprite that draws one that size, innit? Then again, maybe it's more efficient to do the tiled style. No, it sounds like too much hassle now. Let's just do it. A tailor-made one for this size. So I'll have to remember to come in here and load it with whatever it needs. Oh, there's the drawer. Put it in the wrong place. Oh, that's the background. That's a good place to draw it. And it's probably going to be the same as before, so it'll be the sprite point of BC. DE. And that's why I had it as variables. But don't need it as variables. I think I'll do it like that. Should work. Oops. Right, so copy that. Go to that. I think I'm just going to try and find the widest one, i.e. that. Because the length, I'm going to have to delete it all anyway, probably. and just redo it to make sure. In fact, that's what I need. Draw door frame. That should have put. That'll do it there, yeah, I guess. So what was it? 4832. Yeah. So really, it is just a case of popping that there. This time I'll be careful and make sure I have done it right before I copy and paste it all. Of course, that's going to go to 4. It needs another one, doesn't it? There's 6 in total. Okay, it's fine. And again, oops, we've done this before. It's such a amount of copy, literally just copy paste without changing anything. I'll just leave that comment. And I want 31 to be the last one we do. Is that 4 or 5? Shizer. I'm going to say 5. We'll soon know if that's wrong. So like I say, I want 31 of them. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Right, so that's 10 there. So then I'll put a 0 there, and then I'll just change that to 10, etc. Only 31. Should probably left a gap, so I could just skip back to that because I'm going to change the comment there. It's easy to mess up otherwise. See, I have messed it up. I haven't messed it up, I just went past. Here. Let's put a bit of a gap. So that's now 29. $30. 31. And finally, when we get to there, we can end. I don't think there's a turn down here or anything, no. Just a bit of a Goliath, but tea time. It's always tea time here. Although I drink too much bloody fruit juice. Not good for you when you drink too much. I should get back into tea. I used to drink tea when I worked in an office. Iced tea and spiced rum. Ooh. Sounds expensive but good. Right. This might just work for us, you know. Just immediately, straight off the bat. I can't immediately think of anything else I need to do other than what we already did there. Let's try it. And there it is, but it's in the wrong place. That's no biggie. Looks like it needs moving over just one. Let me zoom in. Maybe two. Try one. And of course it's the wrong colour in that right now. I haven't done anything to its colour. It looks pretty cool though, it's not bad already. Ice pops. Got sensitive teeth I have, otherwise I definitely would be into ice pops. Also they'd melt here immediately. It's quite a hike down to where the kitchen is. Well, that was quick and easy anyway. If we stop Bob, let's put Bob a little bit higher. Which we actually do in level. We set that his Bob's position in the level. Just try 32. I don't think we'll let him go that high, but we'll see. No, that's too high, see? We need to shift him by a factor of 4 pixels so he doesn't look stupid. It makes the game look a bit better when you do that. So 36 should be perfect. This should be his maximum. And as you can see, he doesn't clip the sign. So we can like have that sign any colour we like. So I may as well colour it in. I'm thinking about actually having it just black with white like a chalkboard. Failure teaches success. So I made a colour for it. I'm going to get my cheat sheet out, which you're not going to see because I'm not going to flip the screen over, but it tells me the colours. So that is white ink, yeah. So that's good. That's the reverse of what it is right now, so we need to change it to that. Paint sprite is what we want. But we definitely haven't got one that big, so do I make another one? Or can I use this and just a bunch of times? What would be better, really? It looks really easy to just make another one, to be honest, for the right size. So that's what I'm going to do. Just double checking. 48 by 32, so 6 by 4 character cells. But we've used the pixels here in the name. I hope I just didn't copy that twice. I feel like I might have done. I'll end up finding out if I did. So it's much the same, but obviously it's just easier because it's just done in cells, but it can catch you out. But this is, I forgot what size it was. Let's have a look. 32 by 16. Forgotten what it was. 48 was it? Yes, it was. Okay. Trying to figure out what's going on. We know that IYL just holds the colour, so we don't need to worry about that. It's just poking it in, incrementing. Oh, it's easy. We wanted 5 to be the last one on the X. 4, 5. Because I've used a magic number, but that's basically 32 take away 5. Let's actually put that. Hopefully it doesn't mind that. Let's just do that. I can't be bothered. Of course, there's more than one. Like we've got to shift down more than one lot because it's going to be quite a big one, isn't it? We've just done one row. 38, 32. That's 4 rows, isn't it? Just delete that. Do my same old comment trick. So 4 of them in total. So 3, obviously 3 will be the last one. Don't need that. Should be good. Just got to remember these. So this one BC is X and Y. And IYL. I mean, we could get away with just painting this one time. Not quite sure why the paint stuff for the background is not being done just once. Can't even see where it is. Obviously not the door because we can walk in front of that. Not that I don't know if that would matter, but Kind of a weird order, all this, isn't it? I mean, it's working for us. I'm not going to move it. Commenting out work for the sprites. I've lost the context of that, I'm afraid, mate. I'm just about to draw the sprites, to paint the colour in the sprites attributes. But I could do it just one time because I've made it so the player can never walk in front of it. It's never going to change. Let's just do it in level and knit, and we can start a habit that we probably need to make all the others do. Oh, here it is. I'm blind. So we'll load IYL with blackboard colour. I think it was B and C X. So same old stuff. It's got a constant this time though because it's never going to move. So constant position. Cool. Paint sprite 48. 32. And I think unless we've done something stupid, that's going to just work. Yes, it does. It looks brilliant. So it's nice to make some rapid progress for a change. What was his suggestion? Oh, the thing from above. I glanced at that and I kind of understand exactly what he's talking about, but I need to go and look at it to make sure I do. But I'll do that. I'll do that later. Yeah, yeah. We'll get some more graphics added. For now, it's fun, isn't it? And obviously, we're going to get him moving around now. The teacher, failure teaches 6. I love it. I'll just leave it there. Say I'm going to roll a smoke. Honestly, this is like better graphics than the original game. Now, I think. That would be an awesome touch. If we have space in the memory left over, we'll have a few different blackboards. So if you cycle through the levels and you come back to level 1, it says something different. Because the other levels don't have a blackboard actually. They have some other sort of scenery, I think. I'll have to look it up. And obviously it makes sense to only have the blackboard in the classroom. Mr. Robinson sucks. Is that a real life teacher from your history classes? Things are going really well for it here though. I was worried about getting to 50 followers. Even when I was at 40 I was thinking I might not make it. But things have sped up. And I believe it's because we've added these nice graphics to this game. And now, you know, we've got a few of you here regularly watching. I'm here regularly enjoying adding to it. So I'm hoping we'll grow a little bit more. But even this is enough. If I can keep it ticking over like this is good enough. I wonder what the next game project should be. I mean, this one's got a good few weeks left in it to be finished, but I am already thinking about the next game. Let's walk over there. So that's another thing. It's got to be spaceships, hasn't it, Moz? I would love to do that. Platforms got to be much harder than spaceships, I reckon. We've actually got to do a sort of, well, we don't have to make it like a platform game, but when he goes into the hallway, it goes into that side-on view. There's like 2 levels, but it's not quite like a real platform game. Can't jump or anything. It's jumping, isn't it? I am scared about. I haven't ever made a successful jump routine in assembly, and I do struggle even doing it in Unity or something if I write it from scratch. It's okay when you've got a gravity engine, you know, physics engine applying gravity and stuff. I'm pretty sure I can do it. Unfortunately, though, I've read the books on it, and for jumping, I really don't like the examples they show you. I need something better than that. Because we're in 2020 now, the game has got to be enjoyable, and if that means not having jumps but still being fun, like this sort of game, you know, and so be it. Because then sort of old school jumps like Manic Miner, I couldn't be bothered to make a game like that. It'd kill me. I mean, they'd be fun actually. It'd be all about the level design. That you'd have to get it dead right, the actual positioning of all the platforms, so that his jump could land on him. Yeah, I do. I done a poll just as a practice, but that's a good idea. I need to take that poll down because I'm ignoring. I haven't even looked at the result of that. I've just had so much fun with the specky. You do. You have to nowadays, don't you? When I play a game where I can't control the jumps, I'm like, oh, it frustrates the hell out of me straight away. But a spaceship game, on the other hand, I mean, I am still a beginner coder here, especially in this language. So spaceships is probably a good progression, and we can add in like per pixel collisions to that, which would be a good challenge for the boss. You know, it's going to take up quite a few character cells. You'll have to like shoot different spots in the boss to kill him. Right, let's get back on with this one now. I'm getting excited though because this one is coming close to. I mean, it's not complete. I've been purposely avoiding some of the hard stuff at the moment. Yeah, I do understand that, Moz. It's like Dizzy as well. If I don't think you can control your jump, he has a sort of roll instead. But it was all about finding the exact pixel on the screen. Sometimes you'd have to jump between 2 screens, knowing in advance which pixel to jump from. Otherwise, you're dead. It was just part of the game back then, wasn't it? But I think nowadays, if I want to make a really popular game that gets people liking it and actually enjoying to play the game, I think this game we're making, with the if we do it right, could be an actual playable game. You know, people will enjoy playing because luckily it's quick. The controls are very responsive, and that's what makes a fun game, in my opinion. When you don't have buggy controls. Elite spin-off, man, that's way advanced for me. I would love to even draw a 3D mesh of a cube and spin it around with a camera. That would be immense. Well, once you've managed that, you've basically managed Elite. I know how it's done because have you ever heard of a YouTuber called One Lone Coder? Well, anyway, he's called One Lone Coder, and he showed me in the console on my PC. Yeah, I mean, it's not that much math even. It's just storing all them variables like for each vertex, and then, like you say, there is some maths involved for moving the camera to a different view, etc., or rotating the cube. But he explained, we made it. I followed his series, and it is bloody good. I advise anyone to go and look at it if they're into it. Modern coding. In my Windows console, I created a 3D mesh, and it rotated with a camera and everything in the console of you know, a console. You know what a console is, obviously. Terminal window. One lone coder. And another one I'd watch of his, if you're going to go and watch him, is the racing one. He shows you how to make the superscalar racers in a console, and it's just a few bits of easy math. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not like as good as Pole Position, but it's very similar to Pole Position. It's like some sort of Atari version of it, from the old days. But it's running in his console. But I followed that a couple of years ago now, it was, I think, so I can't remember it very well. And it's written in C++, just to let you know. Yeah, like a console, what, like this down here, PowerShell. It's a type of console, yeah, so it's all character cells. You're not supposed to be able to do graphics in there, you know what I mean? But he shows you how to create a cube spinning around in here. And that's pretty clever stuff, because that's like raw instruction. He shows you it raw, how to do it. Yeah, I mean, he's got a thing that he's written that manipulates it so you can draw a pixel and lines and stuff in the console. It's clever. Yeah, it is. He's moved on now because he got really popular and people said to him to make a proper game engine. So he's made like an actual game engine now called the Pixel Game Engine. It's like the same thing as the console game engine he made, but obviously you don't need the console for it, which removes millions of limitations. But yeah, I just ran out of time following his series. It was really good though. We've done that remarkably quick. I'm going to turn my attention to the teacher's movement, I think. But that's brilliant. It's demonstrated how simple it is just to add static sprites now. That's like a 5-minute job. And the moving sprites was only like half an hour, really. And that was only because it was like he's got all these animation frames. So if you remember, I made him walk down, didn't I? And I moved him over to the minimum X. And I managed to make him turn when he hits a wall. And that was as far as we got. There he goes. When I tried to introduce the random movement, maybe we could look at it one day, Moss. Doing the. I'll drag that onto my desktop for later. I mean, I've got a few things dragged on there now, but I normally get through them. What's this JS Specky? Is he doing it in JavaScript? Oh, emulator. So it's a JavaScript emulator or something. Have you ever seen a pool game that's completely 3D on the Spectrum? I watched someone playing it recently. It's green and black, the whole screen, but it's full 3D and it's shaded. The balls different colours. The shading's terrible, obviously. It's an emulator, yeah. I would love to do. I mean, the Elite is on the Spectrum, isn't it? So it was clearly possible. That's released in, I think, 1985 on the Spectrum. Maybe 1984. It came out in 1984 on the BBC Micro. But that's like really trying to run before you can walk, I think. I mean, I can't even get this dude to turn in a random direction yet. Yeah, it goes slow. Next time I am gonna. I think even this task with this Mikey game is almost too big, and I've done well to get this far really, because I was a real beginner when I started this series. You know, I've learned a lot just from doing this. Like the first level would have been hard enough, you know, just the first level. But now we've had to sort of separate it so it can go through all the levels. I have learned a lot from doing that. Yeah, exactly. I think with the 3D, the best I will explore that, but I will just draw a cube, like I said a minute ago. Just be happy with that to start with. Then I'll at least have a base understanding of how the 3D is done on, because I have already got a base understanding because he does that video series I told you about. He does it on a console, so he's explaining a lot of the same sort of problems where you've got character cells instead of pixel. Um, you know, you have to mess around with character cells. So I have seen it before, I've seen it done. I really, really want to finish this game completely though, and get it onto tape, release it onto the actual archives, you know, so it's there for everyone to see. I'll probably have a link to this channel written in the main menu. I am going to change the name. I had to wait 2 months. I'm going to change it just to Retro Coder TV, like the same as my YouTube. So I think I might like mess up people's URLs if you've got a saved bookmark or whatever. I don't know if it does, but I think that's in about 2 weeks I can change it. That was just pseudocode, and I don't think I need it anymore. So the main work here now is trying to figure out what to put into Bob Update. Everything else is set up ready. Yeah, I haven't got a clue about C64 yet either. But the main thing I was meaning then is the character cells, you know, and also the way the Spectrum lines up the memory is a bit awkward. But we can use the screen buffer to get around that. I think we never have to worry about that again. That's another task I need to set aside, is doing the UI, because I want to draw a buffer similar to what we've done with the play window. I want a UI window, but I'll only draw that like at the start, and then maybe like when we change the score or something, or the level or something. But yeah, AI, that's what it was supposed to be about. Pop up. Pop up the UI. Yeah, if that's what you mean by this double buffering here with the pops, I am going to do that. But not, this is done every frame. But with the UI, I'm just going to do it only when we change something. But that's another day, because I really want to try and figure out this AI. We're onto something. We've got it nearly done. We just have to come up. Like the first one I was trying to do was when he hits the bottom, which I've done. He did, but I've made it so he just turns right, which is really too basic. I did have a random. If I call get random, it's a function we already made, and it just makes a random number. But I've already tried this. I can then do and. That's going to give us a number between 0 and 3. The states are also just 0 to 3 for his direction. So I could use this as a state. I think it's state, because I don't want to change his direction. I don't want to change his direction manually, yeah, because his direction just gets changed when he tries to move. So direction's not actually like not the direction I want him to go, that's the direction he is going. Bob action state. So yeah, it's just they're like desired directions. So we'll set that to be A, which is this random number that's been turned into 0 to 3. The problem is it might go down again, but I thought about that and it doesn't matter. It's already at minimum Y. It'll just try and go down and then it'll just do this again. So worst case scenario, he sticks for 1 frame, or even a few frames. But it wasn't working for me. I've already tried this, I think. So we'll have to get rid of that. So I guess actually, if we leave that as that, well, I will do that, Moz. But the first thing I want to do is just check if he hits a wall, like a floor, the bottom, because that is also needed separately to that, and then I'll just get him walking around the room without exiting, without getting stuck, and then I'll add something to like one of these states where it'll say like alert mode or whatever, and then he'll start homing in on Mikie at that point. So suddenly we'll set him into alert mode. But at first he's just walking around. When he reaches a wall, he decides a new direction. So like I say, it's small steps. But if we can figure out how to get him to do that, then we can easily figure out another, to extend that. Yeah, it can be tricky. I mean, it's just prompts to get him to move. Like with the player, you look for key input and then you move the player. Well, with your AI, you just look for something else, like has Mikie stood up? Has Mikie got 3 hearts? Anything. No, he won't do random laps of the classroom. I did discuss this yesterday, but what I'll do is quickly say it again while I've got it on the screen. Imagine he walks around now, then he chooses a different direction, so he might go up or he might go down. But sometimes at the halfway point, which let's pretend is exactly 10 character cells, I'll do a check. So it'll be a yes no kind of ball, is it under 128? And then he'll go down the middle. Yeah, you see? So I'll just extend it bit by bit. So the first thing I want to do is just make sure he chooses a direction randomly. That's what I really want to be able to do. Because if he chooses a random direction and it happens to walk into a wall, he'll just walk into the wall and call another random direction. And like you say, that will just mean that he's just walking around the room, but then we'll extend it further and further. And I'm sure this isn't the best way of doing it. This is my first ever version or attempt at this. This is the first time I've dreamt up a concept of how to do it, if you know what I mean. So we'll probably change it. But like I say, this is needed. You can't have him walking into walls. There needs to be something specific to when he does do that. So that's the easiest thing to start off with, I think. But if I just change his, I don't like the name action state, but his desired direction to this random number between 0 and 3. Let's just see. So we're now checking, or we're now worrying about Bob action state, but we haven't really worried about that up here. So this is what we need to do. I don't think that's doing anything at all. We'll have to do all of them. What was the actual thing called? I've forgotten. Bob go up, wasn't it? Bob go up. Down, left, right. Now we've at least come up with a way of setting it externally and changing what his update loop's going to do in the next frame. So as far as I know, we can just call Z Bob go up and Bob try move up. If he manages to move up, it's going to set his direction to up and start moving him safely after checking collisions. So this looks good to me. It's quite complicated, but I think we've actually set it up in such a way that it's just another layer of crap to deal with. I hope it works. I think I can't see how it won't work, but what happened was when we tried something like this earlier yesterday, he got stuck down the bottom and just continually checking for direction. He seemed to be just turning to the right and then down over and over again. There was something bugged out, and I thought it was because he was stuck in this min position, but it still didn't end up. Like, I proved it wrong from that by letting him move just right. I forced him to move right and it worked. That's the bit I'm kind of worried about. But I'm thinking, like I say, that gets A into being a random number. That makes sure it's 3 or less. And then that sets the state. Should be all good. It calls it here if it's more than or equal to max Y. It looks good to me. Let's just try it. He's already walking the wrong way. That's a weird. Oh, I'd probably say it's wrong thing. I need him to go down first, really, because I've only done the down one. I'll go down. Action state. I think that might be just as simple as doing that. That's kind of proof that that functionality works as well, because he was set up to go down, but that forced him to go right. This doesn't look right. He's trying to go left all the time. He's turned though. And then he's... Oh yeah, of course I haven't done that side yet. I'm actually happy it looks to be working. But what was going on there when he was walking down? He's definitely trying to go left, isn't he? Why is he trying to go left then? This random thing should only get called. Let's just check. There's only 2 of them. Yeah, there is. Should only get called when he's gone past the bottom of the screen. And it seems to set him to right when he actually does that. But something's telling him to go left all the time. When he's going down, it seems. Because that doesn't matter. That gets set in level 1 in it. I'm going to move him over and see if he heads left or down. Because he should go down. We're telling him to go down in everywhere. In every location that we possibly could. Bob go down. Is that ever getting changed to Bob go left anywhere? No, I don't think so. So somehow, unless that's getting called, which I can't see how. I mean, that's not going to change anything, but I'm going to copy that instead and just do the comparison again, just to make sure. So he still moves down, but is it just the animation that's messing up? It seems to be turning to the right. Oh, that's because he's hit something, maybe? No, it's not. It's not. Alright, let's move him over a bit more so he actually has room to walk down. Maybe 10. Did he walk left a bit there? It's really hard to debug this sort of thing with my tools. I'd love to. Oh, he doesn't move left. He just looks like it. It's almost like it's messing the frames up somehow. Like he was moving just as I wanted him to. The actual movement of him, but the animation looked wrong. It's very hard for me to see, so I'm going to have to just load it a few times. I suppose I can just move it now, yeah. Why would that mess up just the frame of animation? It did look fine. We've seen it looking fine before, haven't we? I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this won't have any effect, except for when he gets to the bottom, nothing will happen. Still doing it, isn't it? So I'm actually quite happy with the AI code here, for want of a better word. But I think I've screwed up his drawing code somehow. But I don't see how. I didn't touch this. Did I mess with that? I remember working on that and putting the ore into it. I don't think it's got anything to do with that. I really like how all this is laid out. I'm starting to really understand it. It's just a shame that it's not working as I would like. I know what you mean. Yeah, he's fine once he goes to the bottom. It was weird, wasn't it? Like he was constantly getting told left to go left as he was going down. I'll have another look in a sec, yeah. I was going to just try commenting something out and seeing it, but try move down. I think I'll put that push pop thing back. But first I'll just comment all them out and see if it sorts it out. So it really has nothing to do with that hit bottom thing I added, does it? And that seems to be working at least. I know it made him go right every time, but maybe it's because he hits that thing every time, the same time. It's going to get the same result. That's right. It's annoying because he was walking fine before, wasn't he, when I started up? Okay. So like highlight that, comment that out, just to try and move down. Oops. It's perfect. Okay, yeah, great shout. So we know it's something that I've done here in a hurry. Get rid of that. Just out of interest. Whoa, he went right. So it's this compare thing, isn't it? I've not got a good understanding of how that's working. Wait a second. The compare flag. That's why, isn't it? Yes. He goes right every time. Well, he went right that time. Let's just try it out. I feel like it's because it takes the exact same time, of course, so every time it's going to get the same result. One way I guess I could test that perhaps is just moving them right down for a second. Let's try that. Now it definitely seems to go right every time. I'll just try 38. See if that makes any difference whatsoever. Nah. It's a start. You know in real life everyone would just be laughing at him instead of calling an ambulance. Oh, I've loaded, just by impulse, just loaded it. I didn't even want to. So I've got a problem with either a random number function or this a bit below it. Is there a shortcut to restart the game from within the menu? Not a massive one in Fuse. I could try it. It's a shame you can't see the thing. There's reset actually, but then I don't know how it loads. I'd have to drag the tape file in there again. It's going to do the same thing, isn't it? That. But by moving it up and down there, I think I sort of established that this is not working correctly. It's working correctly in that it sets the state, and the state is getting fed back here and acted upon. But it seems to not be generating a random number. Right is, I think right's 2. I just wonder if I set this state to 8, which doesn't exist, and therefore that's now irrelevant. Would it just move right still, or would it? I'd expect it now just to not walk anywhere. Oh, oh, idiot! I can't. You can't load an actual value into a value. Got to use the processor in some way. Oops. Oh god, I'm an idiot. Stop tap. So I think he should stay still, but I've got a funny feeling he's just going to go. Oh, he did stay still. Good. So that proves it is setting his state to a value between 0. Well, it's setting it to 2, isn't it, every time? So it's probably this. I've probably got to do and or to ensure that I'm not going to get 2 every time. If it found a 1, it would find it couldn't walk there and immediately check for another one. Because 1 is down. And I've always found it a little bit tricky to understand these. I have got my head around it before, but it's one of them things you forget when you don't use it for a while. What's the word for, like, it's not truncating a number. It was good troubleshooting, thanks Jamie. It bloody was. It helped me a lot. Random number uses it wrong, doesn't it? It is a bit basic, I'll show you it. It literally stores the pointer and then increments it. And if it gets too high, does this. This is the bit that baffles me still. Doesn't that, I would have thought that would, like, what I call truncate. I think it's the wrong word, but you know, so say you had a value, if it wants to, that's 8,000. I mean, it's not, because it's 2 bit. We're only looking at the top byte of the 2. That's how he does 8,000 there. That's 31 that equals. But say you have 31. Well, let's say the number's 75. Wouldn't that become 31? Wouldn't every number above 31 become 31? That's what I don't get. I know there's going to be some zeros in there still, potentially. I've just sussed it. I've remembered it. That's just reminded me just by looking at that. I need to do that. No, all of them, I think, I guess. That's going to give us a time where it'll go too high. That doesn't actually matter, though. Well, actually, it does. He'll probably get stuck, but let's watch it anyway. It might give us better random results. It's tricky, this. Yeah, it is worth a play, because I remember struggling with this when I first started learning assembly. And eventually I did learn it after posting on forums. And I was like, oh, I fully get it now. Someone was explaining it to me over and over again in more simple terms. And eventually I actually genuinely did get it. But that was like 2 months ago. It's weird how he still went right then. I would have thought he would have stopped more likely. Because I think that can go up to 7 and we want no more than 3. I wonder if we like store this random number there. Then we do. I would have thought that was okay. Does it move on? I mean, I copied this directly from Jonathan Caldwell, line for line, but So it takes the pointer from seed. It takes the data from seed. Yeah, that's what it's doing. Seed here gets loaded with the pointer for HL. And then it takes that value, checks that it's not within the 8K. That's the bit that still baffles me. Puts it back into the top byte just to ensure that it is that low. It needs to be under 31, that value. That's just where it's giving A the random number that's inside that pointer. Increment the pointer. Store the new pointer, which is 1 up. Oh. It's a shame you can't increment by a random number, isn't it? Somehow. It's an insanely simple routine. But he says in his book that it's insanely simple for what you really are trying to, some people write insane routines to do random. But he says he's used it in like 99% of his games. In fact, I think he says he's used it for every one of his games. Just to make sure I'm not being an idiot, I'll go to the page and make sure I haven't somehow ruined it and forgotten. I'll just paste it in rather than show you the book. It's easier. So and 31. And I've just double checked on my calculator, that is definitely 31. So I mean I can change mine to say 31 if we're worried about that. But I'll just put seed 2. Oh, I was going to say his looks like one line shorter, but it's up there, isn't it? Yeah, it's the first 8K where he wants to keep it. But look, that's his comments, not mine. C# is much more nice, isn't it? Yeah, with the brackets and parameters sending data via methods to each other and getting return values and stuff like that. Very helpful stuff. But this is fun in its own right. It's very logical, this, and these bitwise operations still blow my mind. I mean, I know exactly how they work. They just do a comparison between whatever's in A and whatever you put here. And will mean that both has to be 1, otherwise the result becomes 0. But when you've got to try and think about a number that doesn't just fit into like all ones like that. Because if you think about it, he wants to keep it in for 32, but he's gone for 31. Because it's got to be within the first 32. Okay. And it's not 32 anyway. It's because it's L. If you add all zeros to that, that's the actual number he's concerned about. or all ones. And that would add up to, let's just flick over to it, why not? $8K, just like he says. Because I think it is bloody confusing. It really is. I've had my head round it before and I thought I understood it, but yeah, it looks okay to me. I mean, I was going to use his as a test, but I can't see any difference, can you? Probably just delete that. They look identical. I believe that this is giving us a random number into A. I don't doubt that. But what I do doubt is my AND operation here. That's what I doubt. A real whiz kid on maths would know already in bitwise and binary how to limit a number exactly like with AND and OR. It's not just a programming problem. It's like a mathematical problem. I remember learning about them in school. I went to a high, like a grammar school where people were doing advanced mathematics. But I used to mess around. I got booted out of that down into basic mathematics. But I remember them doing it. But that doesn't mean I can do it now. Yeah. It's because it's such a small number, trying to limit it, but also be allowed 0, 1, 2, or 3. I honestly would have thought that did it. Because if it's 0, if I go back to that bit, you can't see it, but if it's 0, 0, the first two, then obviously you get a 0. Then if it's 1, you get a 1 there. If it was 1, 1 like that, you have a 3. So I really did think that was perfect. How can that number now be anything more than 3? And also, why is it always ending up 2? Let's just test. What's left? What's Bob go left? I mean, I could just write Bob go left. Let's do that. Sod it. Just delete that. I can easily write it again. Load A. Bob go left. And put that into the action state. So that's when he hits the bottom, I'm telling him to go left now. There you go. And let's just try 1. Between 0 and 3. That's exactly what I wanted. I'll put 1 now, so I'm expecting him to go left. He doesn't. Interesting. That could have something to do with it. I thought I could just feed in the number. Why can't I? So if I write Bob go left here, which is equal, it's a constant equal, 2. I'm so dumb. So I was trying to make him go down again, which he can't do. So now he'll go left. So I've been saying everything wrong. 2 is left and 3 is right. So it's been ending up 3 every time, somehow. So my fears are correct, I think. This is what I fear. I call random. I call get random. A gets put into a random number. Very likely that it's more than 3, yeah? We then do and 6 zeros and 2 ones. That should, in my mind, be 0 to 3. And Moz has confirmed his maths says the same thing, his calculator. Or his head, I don't know. But does that mean what would 4 always be 3? And what about 4 to 255? Is all of them going to be 3? And is that why he's going right? Like literally one time out of 100 he won't go right. First one through, wouldn't it always be 2? It seems to be resulting in 3 every time. Because 3's right. Let's go and just double check because I got it wrong a minute ago. There we go, it is. So it's definitely going to 3. I'm now putting it back to how I thought would work, but we know he's going to go right. If he goes left, it's like a 1 in 100 chance. So I believe that's what's happening here. If, let's say, the random number is 210. So 210 in binary is this. So I don't know what I'm looking at here. I'm literally talking out of my rear end because I'm just saying let's try and look at this. That is equal to 210. So let's pretend that's our number and we want it. So that should already not be 3. Okay, so what is happening every time is we're getting the same bloody results every time, almost the same results every time. So whatever number it is. Because that would result in a 2, wouldn't it? Let's just pluck another number out of the air. 178. So if get random was 178, it's going to look like that. That's going to also give us a 2. 4 would be 0. Exactly. And 0 is fine because he should go up. But obviously it is unlikely you're going to get 4. There's 256 different options for this number to be. And we're obviously getting the same one every time we run the game. I understand that. So maybe this does work actually. It's just we're getting unlucky. I reckon if I reposition him enough times, might get a different, or just move the seed on. I'm just gonna call get random a load of times. I'll move him down a bit in a minute near the floor as well. Oh, he waited. It's like he got down for a second. Oh, that was maybe just why I was doing that. Yeah, I could change the seed. I mean, this will move it. I was wondering what to start the seed at. Where's it gone? There. Should I just put like, that's quite near the top of where we're allowed, isn't it? It's still right. That's blown my mind. It seems fine. I've done a couple of actual real world examples on the numbers. One came up as 0, 2 of them came up as 2, none of them came up as 3 yet. So I'm happy with how that works. I was going to try moving down a little bit on level 1. I'm going to close level 2, I don't need to open it at the moment. I'm just going to move him down, like, I'll just put 36 there so I remember it. Try like 140. Try a different seed. Oh, he went left. So it is working. It is working. It's just that obviously the way the random thing works is it's all based on how long the spectrum's been functioning in milliseconds when you ask for the number, and obviously the seed. A lot of games deal with that by actually asking you to type in a seed, don't they, when you play? If it's like heavily reliant on the random. That's perfect actually, because there are going to be other prompts that he's going to get a random length of time to pause for. There'll be other prompts that, like for example, we'll wait for Mikie to stand up before he even moves, so therefore time will have elapsed. Yeah, absolute one. There's a game called that, isn't there? I've seen that on the Spectrum, I think it is. Well, it's not going to be on the Nintendo. So. I'm pretty sure that is working actually. And I'm just taking this very quick break. Cool, that's the kind of thing that can really slip you up. Thanks for your help there, Moz. Because the changing the seed just made it a lot easier and clearer to me then. How easy I can just change the seed. Didn't even think of that. Do somewhere to report back when it's in a before. No report back. So here, we could do something there, but I don't know what we would need to do with it. What I think, the way I see it, hello Mike. Yeah, the way I see it is we'll be able to get over that problem of having the same time where it asks for the random number, because for a start, Bob will be stood still at the top of the class. I'll do like some sort of random check already, so that he has to wait. Well, basically, how long were you sat in the main menu for? So we'll have like while you're sat in the main menu, I'll just be there like calling get random and changing the seed to that random number like over and over again. Do you know what I mean? So if you're sat in a menu for like 1 second, it'll be a different game if you're in there 10 seconds, you know. But not only that, it'll also then wait for you to stand up as Mikie before the teacher even moves, you know. And we'll have to add layers of complexity on as we go. At the moment, let's just get him to do all these walls. Just see how that looks. I'll do that in a moment. Did I hard code back into here? No, I put this back. That's good. I'm not even sure we need that. I need to load that every time. Let's try that. Oh, yes we do. Sorry, I messed up there. Not sure why, because it would call that only if it's equal. Can't be equal to both at the same time. It does seem to be working. It's perfect. So obviously just based on the seed is which way he's going to go at the moment. So I am just going to copy it all through all of them. Which way? I'll try and match it up with this. It's just left, right, up, down. Do top here then. They're actually the same thing over and over, aren't they? Maybe I could just do hit sidewall, you know, hit boundary. Yeah, should. That was nice and easy then. I think this should just have him roaming around the class like a madman now. That's what my music teacher was like. It's gonna look, he looks a bit like him. So what I'm doing there, just to anyone who's just tuning in, when we try and move him left, we set his direction so that he's looking in that direction on the animation sprite. We then set his actual, hang on, why is that there? Oh, of course, we're taking in his x position, comparing it to the minimum x constant, and then calling hit boundary if he hits the boundary, which then chooses a new random direction. Then up here it checks that and changes it. Right, it's looking good. Hello, Coder Mick. Hope you've had a good day, mate. Oh, he went right that time. Oh, he's getting a bit stuck. He's drunk. I'm enjoying watching that for a second just while I'm smoking a cig. Trying to work out exactly why that's happening. It seems like it's the boundary check. I don't know, it seems to happen randomly, doesn't it? On one of them. I've obviously pasted that in the wrong place, I think, on one of them. Sounds like Del Boy, like a bit of this, bit of that. Teaching while intoxicated, yeah, I mean it's probably a good combo. Yeah, that's most teachers. Cheers, man. Yeah, it is looking good. Obviously, he needs some help, this guy. But at least he's moving. Yeah, that's funny. Gets drunk and then gets extremely violent with the children later. Fucking lunatic. I have a feeling it's something to do with like it goes through, it's halfway through here, it goes down, and then it can still go into here. I think what I do need to do is to push pop. And that way it will always be the same. Well, that's the idea. The thing is, can you do that? You can't pop the same thing over and over again. I think I'll have to do a push again straight after. This is just trial and error almost. What I'm trying to do is make sure that this flag that we're comparing is always this one we first check, rather than letting it change. Because we were changing the state and then it's already halfway through the loop, I think. That's my logic. I don't need to push it there. Okay, Nick, speak to you soon. I've suddenly gone into like almost concentration mode. Sometimes I get like that where I feel like I can solve this problem, but I have to concentrate. So he's doing it at all time, and then he hits the top and stays staring at the wall. Brilliant. Do you like this sign? Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? I nicked that from the actual game. The slogan. It's a great slogan. Failure teaches success. I hope I didn't offend any teachers out there with my Twitter post on this. I mean, if you're a teacher, you're more of a success than I am, believe me. That's funny, as though he looks like he's actually in the naughty corner. The way he stopped there, he was jiggling around. What I don't understand is how it's actually able to move, to undo all that push pop stuff. So I don't like it. If that works the same, it's more clear, isn't it? Can. He does walk a bit like. Have you seen Basil Fawlty when he does the "Don't talk about the war"? He reminds me of him when he walks. This is a right bugger of a problem, though. I think I found the problem, and it is this push and pop here, because it pushes AF, Calls the boundary hit. Okay, maybe not actually. That changes the state and returns. So it does return. The state is now different. That should be NC. No, that should be C. That's why. Same with that. NC is set, or C is not set when it's more than or equal, and C means it's less than. So that's why that is. It's looking good. He's got stuck. Well, he hasn't got stuck. He's in a loop of random badness. There he goes. He's out of it. That actually happens in the real game. He does do stuff like that. Like I said a minute ago, we'll have segments. Let's pretend the room width length is 12 for a minute. You know, 20. So we'll have 3 segments at sort of 6, 12 and 18, where I'll decide to check again to look for a random direction. You know what I mean? Or I'll do something else. So this is alright actually. This ain't bad. It's working exactly as we wanted. It's just maybe it's a bit annoying how he seems to favour. It's perfect actually, to be honest. It's exactly what I wanted him to do. Excellent. So now we just, the very next thing should be if he's at the like if he's directly below the middle of the blackboard. Do another check should he suddenly move down. And then this is a whole state of his where he's not in alert mode, so I need to make another set of states. That's the easiest way for me. So this would be, yeah, definite progress, man. Thank you. Yeah, so this is like non-alert state, and then as soon as Mikey stands up, he'll go into alert state, you know. Or maybe not as soon as he stands up. And then we'll have to start doing calculations about Mikey's X to his X, and same with the Y. That's really good progress. I think what I'll do is I'll add the bit in the middle now. So we'll check, I'll find out exactly what is the middle. Where does he start? Where he starts is the perfect place to check because we know he can walk there. We'll move him up. I don't like where he's actually starting. So 12. C11 again. 11's perfection. So when he gets to 11, just do another random check. Does he move? The thing is, I'll have to do one for when he's at the bottom and one for when he's at the top if I want to do it like that. Or in fact, I could just call a random direction and he'll either go left, try and go up and fail, or he'll go continue the way he's going or go up, you know. Yeah. So let's change the name of hit boundary, just to change direction. Bob. Choose random direction. Sort it. He does do quite a lot of bottom patrol. I think it does depend on the seed and where you start him off and stuff though. This will help a lot because I'm going to be calling get random more as we add more. save it, just compile it, make sure it's all working again, and then so we now have it just that name instead. Somewhere along basically after we've done the try and move left and right, it's fine. I'll just do it all in this loop. I might make a routine out of this in a bit. Let's make a constant. Where the max and mins are defined, we'll just put like mid x. So Bob's at mid x. Call Bob random, innit? That's just going to change the state to a random state. So now he's going to probably change quite often when he gets to the middle, so maybe that's too keen. We can come up with a way around that later. Let's see if it works. Of course, I've already decided that's not going to work. I'm not even going to look at it. Let's check that he is, in fact, let's only do this. I'm going to make a routine out of it. It's tidier. Bob. Check. Oh, Bob middle. Bob middle change. Changer. I'm running out. It's getting late. Bob middle changer. That'll do for now. I'm definitely going to change that name though. So that will change it if he's at that middle section. Yeah, because I knew it was going to fail. But here we are checking. Here he's at the maximum Y, which is where we want to check if he's in the middle. The bit I'm finding interesting actually and worrying about is how come that's not actually getting called all the time if he goes left. Maybe I'm worrying too much. Maybe I can just get away with it. Let's just try it. It looks pretty goofy. So it's only going to do it on the bottom. Oh, he did try it. It's not going to work on the top yet, unfortunately, because I've only done it on the bottom one. I need him to walk across that bottom. Not the top, mate. Come on. Maybe it's quicker just to add it to the top as well. I think I did see it work one time. It's like Basil 40. Frog marching. Come on, mate. Go left. Didn't do anything. No, it doesn't appear to do anything. It's doing the can, yeah. I was only trying to save myself some hassle there, because I could just load A with Bob Y, compare it to Min Y. That's now the top of the screen, of course, or the top of the play area, plus 8 just for safety. If it's less than that, return. No, if it's more than that, return. So in other words, if he's not near the top of the screen, it's not even going to bother looking. But if he is, it's going to check if he's near the middle and try and do the random direction. That should work. If I just call that every frame now. Let's just try it. So again, this is only checking now if it's only going to work if he's at the top. So I've got to be more clever here later. But what I really want to do is, I want this to happen if he's at the top or the bottom. So I need to come up with a way of maybe not returning, doing jump or something like that. I mean, for now, I'm just going to copy paste it and do max y minus 8, return C, and then bottom, top. But I really do think I should have been able to combine them. I just haven't got the brain power right now. But if I call both of them now, that should hopefully work. Oh, it actually did work. It kind of works too good. Like I said, I've got to come up with some other way. What I could do, I can already think of straight away. This is just real ad-libbing now. But for example, I could just do a load A, or no, not load A, get random. Compare 250. Return C. Let's make a constant for that, because it's not that. That's quite a good little mechanism of checking these randoms, I think. So if I just put like, I'll put this constant in Bob. Let's put like Bob middle chance equals. I think 250 is maybe a bit too strong. Let's try 240. So it's got to be less than. If it's less than 240, it's going to return. So it has to be more. 241 to 255 is the only option of this to not return. So I think we might be alright with just that. Whoa. How did he manage to turn then? Of course I can find out if he's collided with a desk and just do the same thing. That's not too much of a problem. But that was a bit erratic. Out of interest, return C is definitely less than in it. Just let me check that first. Yes, it is. So it's definitely correct. I'll just try changing the Bob chance thing to 255. So there's no chance. Okay. So that little mechanism there of doing that, that's interesting. He actually went up for a change. That part, I'm happy with this part now, but for some reason this middle bit is not working great. I mean, this gives him very little chance. He still managed to. Oh, of course, it gets called every frame. So even if with very little chance, you know, if you're getting called 50 frames per second, I still don't see how he can do that. Not in the middle. I probably need to do something that's a bit too in depth for me to do right now tonight, because I need to come up with a way of just firing that one time. And the only way I can think of at the moment is having a ball to say whether it's okay to change direction, and then like a delay before we set that back until after he's changed direction, if you see what I mean. So we wait until, or even until he's hit another corner, so he can't just keep turning. So then once he's turned once, he'll have to hit a wall before he can turn again in this mechanism. Damn it. I think it's getting too late for me because I've got work tomorrow. I've got a busy week ahead of me. I don't want to wear myself out completely. I want to make sure I'm doing at least some coding every night. 2 hours is enough. That's it, Ryden. Yeah, I'm really happy with it because about an hour ago, it seemed like we might not even have that happening. You know, so yeah. But I don't want to wear myself out. I'd love to carry on, but I think it's going to take me at least another hour to even get any sort of progress going, and I can't do it. Thank you, everyone. I'm really enjoying the channel. It seems to be growing. I've got over the 50 follower mark, so I can only thank you all for that. And my average viewers has gone right up. So I really appreciate all of you being here. Hopefully you stick around and see the whole series out with me, and then hopefully on to the next one. It's going to be even better. Kapow, man. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm going to get off. I won't waffle anymore. I want to get off and get some sleep. But I'm going to do my best to be on tomorrow about 11 o'clock, just after. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Have fun. Bye bye.